You had everything you were supposed to have. A home, food on the table, maybe even parents who said, "I love you." And yet, something always felt missing. You couldn't explain it back then. And even now it feels wrong to say it out loud. Because how do you admit that you felt alone in a place where you were loved? Maybe you were the quiet one, the child who didn't cause problems, the one who understood things too early. You didn't scream for attention. You didn't demand anything. So people assumed you were fine. When you got hurt, you stayed quiet. When something bothered you, you pushed it down. When you felt overwhelmed, you told yourself it wasn't a big deal. And slowly, without realizing it, you became someone who didn't take up space. You learned to read the room, to adjust, to be easy to deal with. Because somewhere along the way, you understood something very important. Love was there, but attention wasn't. And attention is how a child feels seen. Here's the part most people don't talk about. You don't need abusive parents to feel invisible. Sometimes love is present, but emotional connection is not. Maybe your parents were busy. Maybe they were stressed. Maybe they did everything right on paper. But they didn't notice the small things. They didn't notice when you got quieter, when you stopped sharing, when your smile became more of a habit than a feeling. You're so mature. You're so easy. You never caused trouble. But what they didn't see was what it cost you. Pause for a second. Think about this. When was the last time, as a child, someone asked you, "How do you really feel?" Not about your grades, not about your behavior, but you, your thoughts, your fears, your inner world. If that question feels unfamiliar, you're starting to understand. When a child feels unseen, they don't suddenly break. They adjust. They become hyper-aware of others. They start overthinking everything. They learn to read between the lines. Because if no one asks how you feel, you start assuming your feelings don't matter. So you stop expressing them. And that habit follows you into adulthood. Now you struggle to open up. You feel uncomfortable asking for help. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. And deep down, there's this quiet thought that never leaves you. Maybe I'm just too much. Or worse, maybe I don't matter that much. It shows up in small ways. You hesitate before sharing your opinion. You replay conversations in your head. You feel guilty for needing attention. Even in relationships, you give more than you receive. You listen. You understand. You show up for people. But when it's your turn, you go silent. Because a part of you still believes no one is really going to see you anyway. Here's the twist most people miss. You weren't ignored because you were unimportant. You were overlooked because you were strong, because you didn't demand, because you didn't break down loudly, because you learned how to carry yourself without help. And people mistook your silence for strength. But silence is not the same as being okay. Pause again. Ask yourself this honestly. Do you let people truly know you? Not the version that's easy to love. Not the version that doesn't cause problems. But the real you. The one who feels deeply. The one who overthinks. The one who sometimes just wants to be understood without explaining everything. If the answer is no, then maybe you're still living the same pattern. The hardest part about growing up unseen is this. You don't know how to ask to be seen because you were never taught that your inner world mattered. So now, even when someone cares about you, you keep parts of yourself hidden, not because you want to, but because it feels safer, familiar. And a little voice inside still whispers, "Don't be too much." But here's the truth you probably needed a long time ago. Being seen is not a luxury. It's a need. Your thoughts matter. Your feelings matter. Your presence matters. And just because no one fully saw you back then doesn't mean you're meant to stay invisible. You don't have to keep shrinking yourself to be loved. You don't have to earn attention by being perfect. And you don't have to carry everything alone just because you always have. It's okay to speak, even if your voice shakes. It's okay to express, even if it feels unfamiliar. And it's okay to want more than just love. It's okay to want to be understood. Because love without being seen feels lonely. But the moment someone truly understands you, that's when love finally feels real.